Yes, hello. Here is Business Spotlight Deutschland. I'm Dominikus from Pescatore from Action Coach in Berlin. And my interview guest today is Stanislav Bondarenko from Swifty. Hello, Stanislav.
Hi, Dominikus. Nice to meet you.
Very much welcome to our interview. I appreciate your participation. I kindly ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what Swifty is doing.
Sure, would love to share with you. So my name is Stanislav. I'm the founder of Swifty. We have founded Swifty in the basis of Lufthansa Innovation Hub. This is the leading travel tech innovation hub and incubator that is, as you would guess, backed by Lufthansa and is a part of the Lufthansa group.
Yeah.
And we've been starting building Swifty since February this year. It's been live since August already. So we have the first users, first paying customers, and managed to get the first partnership. Before Swifty, I was also in travel tech at Berlin-based unicorn Get Your Guide and in management consulting, BCG and at McKinsey.
Perfect. So if I want to use Swifty, why should I use it? What is the benefit?
Yeah, the premise of Swifty is very, very simple. So we help you book your business trip in 5 minutes by chatting with our AI assistant. Swifty is unique in the travel industry in a sense that we have the first artificial autonomous AI assistant, meaning that it does not only talk to you, but also execute actions on behalf of you. Like you would talk to your travel agent or to your executive assistant, you just tell Swifty what you want. For example, hey, I want to travel from Berlin to Zurich next week. And Swifty asks you a follow-up question, collect your preference, and books the trip for you. It is much, much simpler. So it takes you 5 minutes instead of a couple of hours across different platforms. And in addition, you have everything in one simple platform. So you get flights from all over the world. You get 600,000 hotels across the world. We are connected to Expedia. And in the end, you get business-ready receipt and invoice that you can expense and use for the tax benefit.
Wow, that sounds very productive and very quick. So a new initiative in the market. How did the company now in this first year develop? What are the main challenges you have seen?
Of course, with a startup, a high growth startup, it's important to understand several things. Like, is it because we're building on a new technology? It's important to understand whether it would be possible and cost efficient to build that.
Okay.
Have enough resources and firepower, and as well as is technology on the right stage to be able to build the product that we want to build.
Yeah.
We want to also know, is there a market? Do people actually care about booking their trips faster? Or are they satisfied with the current solution? So we need to learn from users a lot.
Yeah.
And the third thing we can try to understand, can we build a viable business model from that? So it's the framework called Business Model Canvas, and we can go through each of those parts and try to basically figure out everything from zero. Of course, when you don't have anything to continue, any basis to build on, that's always the hardest to understand, because you need to put a lot of bets and a lot of trust, for example, in the fact that customers will actually buy your product, in the fact that technology will work for you, not only in theory, but in practice.
Yes.
So I would say that validating that trust and also acquiring the trust of our investors, Lufthansa in this case, was one of the hardest part that we managed to conduct.
I see. Probably you are calculating that there's a good number in the market who would prefer to book a trip online, and this is then a growing, let's say, chance for you if you have a product that works well, and Swifty is this innovation. You had an example also before in the Lufthansa Innovation Hub. Is that correct? Or
what do you mean by example?
Example that there was a model already that you were inspired to go for an own, let's say, company that you have founded then.
Exactly. So there were several ventures that have spun off as independent companies from the Lufthansa Innovation Hub.
I see.
There was a climate tech called Squake, and the mobility HR tech called Navit. But for me, inspiration came much earlier, because when I came to Lufthansa Innovation Hub, I already knew that I wanted to build something and spin it off. So for me, I'm not sure exactly what moment inspired me to build my own company. I've tried it in 2022 as well. I've tried it in 2021 as well. It doesn't always work out, but I just loved the process and the day-to-day so much that I decided that this is the path that I want to continue. And the reason for that is that it's extremely rewarding of how much your action can impact the world in one day, and what you can do in half an hour or an hour comparing to working in a corporation. So when I was working at BCG, I worked long hours, and it was actually really interesting tasks, but they were not as impactful, and they did not bring as much contribution. And here, any action I feel I take moves the needle a lot.
Great. That's a great input, to give your contribution and having a high impact on your choice that you did. Stanislav, you mentioned you have the first clients now. Can you give us an example if you got what feedback you got from these clients?
Yeah, the feedback varies a lot, and we're happy to any of it, like whether it's positive, negative, constructive, or great. So in the first weeks, we had feedback that we needed to fix our service, because I think that if you are not ashamed of your launch, you have launched a bit too late. So you have to understand that your product in the beginning would be a bit rough. And that's what we had. So our product was a bit rough, and we had to make it work. But then in the second and third month, towards October, November, we got a big wave of customers incoming when they saw that our product was working great for them, when they saw that they could really save time. It was amazing to see that. It was wonderful to hear from people. We also do the customer interviews, for example. And on those customer interviews, we hear that we took the weight of decision off the customer's shoulders. Now they can really concentrate on doing the business critical tasks versus booking their business trip.
I see.
Or that they have found the new way of interaction, so that they just talk with the assistant versus choosing via many filters and having many windows open. They found the new way of interaction much more seamless and natural for them. And this was also a good insight for us.
I see. So this is what I can imagine, because I traveled a lot also in my life, that you have not only the ability to book, to do it some, but to get your questions solved. Yeah. So this is the part that you have worked on. So because you mentioned you have an assistant also doing the things, they are not only giving answers. So you could see this happen. Yeah. The clients could see this application and we're happy with it.
Exactly. You can ask questions about the trip that you booked. You can ask if your flight is refundable. Does your hotel have a pool? What size is the room? And you don't have to also try to find information yourself. You can navigate through simple questions.
Yeah. What would you say, Stanislav, at that stage now that you have launched the company? What would be your greatest challenges? What are your greatest challenges at the moment?
Oh, at the moment, we are so we need to find the cost-efficient way to acquire customers. So the customer acquisition cost is the biggest challenge for the startup, because you have to make sure that your business model works. And in the beginning, you don't have the marketing budget, you don't have like the growth strategy that is set in stone. You have to experiment a lot to find your way. And for us, we'll have to transition our application towards working for enterprises to be able to work with the corporate customers versus the individual business travelers. This will help us acquire customers in a much better way, in a much more cost-efficient way, and also service maybe to people that need our tool more. And this pivot will be one of the challenges. In order to realize that pivot, we will be raising the external investment. And that is another thing that we are preparing for. I wouldn't say that it is a challenge in terms of that it's not kind of bearable or that it's extremely hard to do, but rather because it's the one of the most important things that we're trying to solve right now.
I understand. And from your target market, you would then be interested to get clients in the corporate world or bigger companies who have people traveling a lot. Is that the target market you are trying to get? Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's frequent travelers, and then it's two main groups. First is individual business travelers, so people who are maybe self-employed, work in very small companies where everybody books for themselves, as like a startup or a venture fund. Yeah. And on the other hand, it's the higher end of SME, so the medium enterprises, which are already maybe 250 to 1,000 people, but who either don't have a solution right now or are not satisfied with their current business travel solution. And they would like their employees to be more happy and to be more focused on the core business tasks, especially the employees that travel frequently.
I see. Okay.
Those are the target groups.
Yeah, excellent. Now, what are your plans in getting bigger? You want to build up a team, a bigger team, or what are your plans for the future in doing that?
Yeah, exactly. So as I mentioned, when we raised the external funding to market our platform to the businesses and to build up our product, we of course will need a team for that. So and that is essentially the plan, that we become independent of Lufthansa Group. So we spin off from the accelerator. And Lufthansa stays, of course, our partner and strategic investor. And we get other investors on board, like venture capital, for example. The plan is for the next year to hire one full development team, about 4 to 5 people, and one business sales and marketing team.
I see.
That will be able to work at the same time with the corporates and with the individual business travelers via marketing means.
I see.
Pretty straightforward, I would say.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So if you are planning to build up the team, what are your criteria to hire people? How does that, what would work for you in this sense?
Yeah, I think in a startup, it's extremely important to work with people that have high motivation to generate a lot of impact. And I mean that everybody, of course, wants to do meaningful things, but it means that you have to go an extra mile more often in a startup than in a corporation. Because with 10,000 people, you can relax a bit and you can have I don't know, better days and worse days. But when there are 10 people, it's much harder to do that because everybody is critical to the mission. And so it means that the hours are unfortunately a bit longer, at least for me and the founding team. But on the other hand, everybody is motivated by the equity in the company. So every first employee, I strongly believe in that, should have some equity in the company.
Oh, that's good.
That should be a driver for them to contribute, to build this up as their own business. And the criteria then that you are motivated by it, you treat it as your own thing, and you want to contribute to it as if you would build your own startup, as if you would raise your own kid, and to build it up and to be completely independent in your decision making. Because again, with the infinite amount of scope that the startup has and very small team, you have to be extremely independent and ruthless in prioritization of what do you not do. Be super clear on the things that you do on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's a very clear idea. So the build up a business, it's obviously very important to build up the right team, and you have a clear idea how to do that in the next steps. What is at the moment the most important innovation you are trying to set up in the company? Besides the fact that you have an innovative product, but inside the product, what is the most important innovation step next now?
So for a company like ours, I believe that the, of course, most important thing is still the product. So I know that you said beside the product, but I just want to stress that it's extremely important for us that we are building the first actionable AI assistant in the travel industry.
Okay.
And it's important to continue momentum on that.
Yes.
And to ship as fast as possible so that we release features every week or so. So we have a very, very fast continuous delivery pipeline, as it's called in the engineering world.
I see. Yeah.
The other part is the go-to-market. The go-to-market is also quite new. So it is for the individual customers, what we pursue is called product-led growth, where we try not to bet on the kind of paid marketing channels, such as Google ads or social media paid ads or billboards, let's say. But we try to make sure that our customers love the product and they want to share it. And we give them a lot of tools to share the product. So we give them the referral program. We give them an ability to kind of put that within their company, for example, if they like the product so much. And the product-led growth model has been explored by many startups such as Notion or Figma, where first only individual used it as their professional tool. But then the product was so good that they told their friends about it, and the tool enabled them to do that. And so we want to pursue the same way. We want to give the customers tools to tell about our product and to engage them, not to tell them that, not to acquire them via the paid ads, but just to tell them what are the great things they can do with it via the standard social media channel. For example, we have a very good LinkedIn with a strong base, which we use to acquire the customers. Yeah, that's great. So thank you for that additional explanation. There's many topics going on, and this is quite important to set the product, position it in the market correctly, and good luck for that. Now, Stanislav, we also like to learn a little bit about the person. So very interesting, the product you have chosen and the experience to explain, and the motivation why you launched it. But tell us a little bit about yourself. You said before you tried to be on your own once or twice, and then now you did it. Why at the end do you think it's worthwhile to be on your own? What is for you so important in this? I actually don't really think that it's a must-have to build your own company. I think you should do that if you have a great idea, if you cannot not do it. It's quite demanding. It takes a lot of time. It's not very easy, to be honest, and it may take a toll on the other sides of the life. Like your personal life, you may spend less time with your kids because of that. However, it's extremely fun. So what you do on a day-to-day basis is you try a lot of new things with a complete freedom. It's a good comparison. For example, when you work in a corporate world, you have to use certain tools. You have to like, for example, use Microsoft Office, your email client. You can talk to your colleagues, but not to other people outside. And you can, if you are a team leader, you maybe can hire, but only within a given budget. However, when you are a founder, any tool is at your disposal. You can use your friends as a marketing vehicle. You can try to attract capital if you feel like you need more people. You can use whatever innovative tools you like. You can generate your logo with Midjourney, which will not be allowed in a regular company. You can use all of those things, and any resource in the world is available for you to use in your company if you can reach it. And that really empowers you to build up the mission. But it's really important to believe in the stuff that you are doing, and it's really important that it feels like your baby, what you're doing. Because I had very fun jobs before. I had a very nice job in the Get Your Guide. It's a travel tech in Berlin. I was essentially launching the originals experiences. So it was a certain brand of Get Your Guide tours, which were the best in class across the world in top 100 locations. So essentially building the guided tours and cruise experiences for the people all around the world. It was also very fun.
Yeah.
But also my toolkit was very limited.
Yeah.
And I wanted to spread a bit higher. So that's that feeling of freedom, of being able to use every tool and grow as much as you can, get feedback directly from your customer and from the investor is what matters. That you do not get feedback because somebody thinks that you should write a document differently, but you get feedback by customer purchasing or not purchasing the product. And it is very, very powerful and very sobering. And it's amazing feeling to have when you've built something meaningful for somebody. If somebody managed to save couple of hours, let's say even in a week, that's already feels extremely good.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, the point you started also in the beginning and mentioning that, but now you give a bit more of explanations. That's great insight. Thank you. Did somebody inspire you to be on your own, to build a business for yourself, or did this come up in yourself?
I mean, it's a bit all over the you can find your inspirations anywhere online if you want. Like I don't want to name specific names, but I think that you can look around and see them in your friend circle. So for me, I cannot name anybody specific. I was just I think I'm really inspired by the great products that are made. So when you see something that is wonderful, and you think that even like, oh, I got this amazing table, let's say, I got this amazing dining table, and there's a craftsman behind it. It feels much more tangible than when you say, oh, I got this. I don't know, when you work, when you see the big corporate report, and you see that, I don't know, 50 people has contributed to it, it's harder to feel the craftsman behind that. So kind of those things, when you see that the beautiful, I recently bought an amazing electric bicycle, and I was really happy to, I don't know, talk to the founders of that bicycle company to learn how they did that. How did they learn from a customer and build that up? So I think for me, it's not about the person's journey that's inspiring, but it's rather like the thing that they managed to build and get their creation out of them. So the creation itself is inspirational.
I see. Yeah, thank you. Now you mentioned the private side, the challenging activities. How do you balance these things, that you get private life and professional life a bit more in line? Is that possible, or are you now in the stage that it is too busy? What would you say about that?
Yeah, I have a small baby. I have a 2.5-year-old. So it's a bit tough. Like oftentimes I have to call and say goodnight via the phone. And I have to go on a lot of business trips, so I'm often not at home. I try to be, when I am at home, I try to be as present as can.
Yeah.
And just to really spend the 2 hours or whatever the time I have. And also, of course, with my wife and with kindergarten and with the other help we have, it helps to balance that.
Yeah.
But for example, I see my friends now, I don't know, once a quarter versus once a week. And that's a bit sad. And I wish I would do that more frequently. Like some of my hobbies, they are also not as present in my life right now, like music. And I'm okay with that. You just have to be extremely clear on what do you want to do? And is the thing you're doing the most important thing at the moment, or could you be doing something better? And kids put that really good into perspective. Yes. So when you are working on some Excel spreadsheet for somebody that don't know the purpose of, and you compare that with spending a time with your 1-year-old that will soon not be a 1-year-old and will soon grow up, it really puts the thing into perspective, and you have to question whether that thing you're doing is it crucial, is it important, or could you be actually doing something better and more meaningful? That's why you have to also be extremely hard on every activity that you do within your company or within your job.
Okay, yeah, great insight. Thank you for that, Stanislav. How do you educate yourself? I mean, as an owner now and a founder, there are many things to learn, not only regarding the product, but also building up the company. How do you educate yourself?
Yeah, I would say that the experience helps a lot. But still, it's not that I already know everything. I just managed to learn some things that I use. I learned how to hire people. I learned how to set up the OKR processes. In management consulting, I also learned how to do the reorg of a big department, how to build business models and pitch decks. But there are a lot of things that I simply don't know how to do. And I try to find mentors. So just look at either my founder friend circle or at the people within the accelerator, for example, and ask them, like, what's the best way to, I don't know, approach a big corporate sale? Or how can you make sure that you hire a trustworthy candidate on a key position? Because it's very different hiring on the, let's say, somebody who will be running a business with you versus somebody who will be an individual contributor. Just ask people, be super curious, and also have a dogma that you don't know a lot. Like, I think it's important to have the learner mindset and to be very, very brutally honest with yourself that you are not that knowledgeable, or one is not that knowledgeable, maybe smart, maybe, I don't know, clever, maybe curious, but it's very bad to think that you know everything or majority of things. Don't ask people around, read as many books as you can, and listen to podcasts. I would say for me, it's just getting that information, the practical information is also a natural, interesting process too.
Great points. Great points, Stanislav. I mean, the learning mindset is really key, and I appreciate that you are giving such a vivid example of it. Great. Now, coming to the end of our interview, is there some questions, some question that I did not place, but you would wish that I have to?
No, I think it was pretty interesting, to be honest. I'm happy to share what I learned with your listeners. And I'm happy to stay in touch also with everybody who is curious about Swifty or my journey. So I don't think that there's anything left to ask to answer, unless there's something that you have in your mind. So thank you very much for the time that you gave me.
Thank you, Stanislav, and all the best for the success of your new company, Swifty. It was very valuable that you gave your insights today in our interview, and good luck for the future, okay?
Thank you very much. Likewise. It was a pleasure.
Bye.